Okay, so new scene. It's Archibald Hall time, and we got handmaids on the floor, on the windows, making the place look spick and span until Aunt Lydia comes in and ruins everything.
She pulled a real Serena here.
Oh, she really did. Wow, man. She's schooling handmaids on how to properly wash floors, and Aunt Ruth and Elizabeth are standing over there laughing at her, which I would too, because fuck you, Aunt Lydia. But Lydia knows. Lydia, you know when somebody's talking about you. You get it. And Lydia is not stupid. She picks up on it too. And gossip is a tool of the devil's, ladies. And, yeah, this went well. And I seem to have skipped a whole fucking part in my notes. So if anybody wants to take that up, what in the hell happened here?
So
Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Aunt Ruth responds, "We were just saying what a blessing it is to have you back, Aunt Lydia." And Aunt Lydia says, "A blessing? Aren't you kind? But we must set a good example, mustn't we?" And then she, like, rages on Kylie.
Carly missed a spot.
Yes, she did.
Well, Carly missed a spot, but she mouths back to Lydia, and that's what does her. And if she had just said, "I'll scrub it again, thank you for," or "I'm so sorry," or "I'll scrub it again, thank you for pointing it out to me," something like that.
Or said nothing at all and kept scrubbing.
Or said nothing at all.
Yep, just try harder.
Exactly. Those would have been the elegant solution, but but looking at Aunt Lydia and saying, "I think it's a stain," or "I think it's a spot," wrong response. And she learned that very quickly. Talking back to anyone in a position of power in Gilead is going to inevitably lead to some sort of punishment. And Carly had to learn that the hard way by being at the wrong end of a cattle prod. And so did Aunt Ruth.
Okay, things we care about in this episode. Optics, Lydia. Lydia has not figured out optics of how she can appear powerful and in control without actually channeling a bad look.
Yeah, because nothing about that seemed in control.
Nope. Not even a little bit. It was really... I was embarrassed for her in this. It sucks for Ruth. Actually, no, fuck Ruth. She deserved it. It sucks for Carly that she had to be on the receiving end of Aunt Lydia's insecurity. But it's a bad look. It was embarrassing for her. And I think it's really because, we know the Aunt Lydia that we've seen in the last several episodes, and we know the Aunt Lydia that we're going to get to know in the Testaments, and we know what an incredibly polished, smooth operator she is in the Testaments. And so to see her in this in-between time and fumbling in that way, just really, there's going to be an abuse of power, but I just don't think this was the hill that she needed to die on to try to exert her authority and to try to look good for the other aunts. She fucked it up so bad, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Carly. That sucked for you. But I loved seeing her make an ass out of herself.
Oh, yeah. I love the last shot, too, as, not the last shot, before she walks out, as Ruth and, is it Carly? I thought it was Kylie. Carly.
Oh, whatever. I thought she said Carly, but it could be Kylie.
Doesn't matter.
We don't
it totally
have
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter.
You've got the handmaid and you've got Ruth lying and, they're on the ground, basically, and Lydia is underneath the chandelier, and she just kind of looks around, and she just looks like the queen of pain and destruction. And I don't think that's the optics she's going for. I think it's like she realizes as she looks there, she's like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," and then she just beelines it for the door, "Oh, I'll just pretend this was totally meant to be." But yeah, you're right. She's just not in control at all, and it's a lot that it's not the first time we've seen her like this. This is something that keeps happening. She did it with Janine when she lashed out at her so unnecessarily, and it was whoa, that was an overreaction to the one person who kind of likes you.
Yeah, we've been seeing her falter since season 3, and this is just a continuation of that. It's interesting how she seemed like she was so secure for so long. And it's really roughly this last year, we could actually figure out that it's been at least a year since she was assaulted by Emily and since she's had all these like, issues ever since, but it's like I said, it's embarrassing to me. I can't stand Aunt Lydia, but it makes me feel uncomfortable to see her flounder because she's usually your rock. As much as she fucking sucks, she's the one that you can pretty much like count on for a relatively like solid presentation. So when she's out of control, it's scary. And you just want her to get it together.
You want her to get it together, but it's also kind of gratifying watch her not be able to keep her shit together, and watching her flounder as she comes to grips with the notion that she did lose her power for a moment, and now she has some power back, but she's still sort of like the object of disdain from both the handmaids and from her fellow aunts. Like, she doesn't have a sense of community, and it is kind of gratifying watching her be a bit of a temperamental brat about that.
She's alone, and I think it's interesting how her story parallels June.
Absolutely.
'Cause June also doesn't fit in where she's at right now either.